Good afternoon. If you're watching this video, then you are in need of access to SAS software for either your research work or for one of the classes that you are taking. OSU has made it possible for faculty and staff and all enrolled students to get a copy of SAS on their own computer, provided they have administrative rights to that computer. So therefore, students, you cannot install it, say, on a departmental lab computer because you don't have administrative rights there. But there are also ways to access SAS on a virtual server that OSU manages. Additionally, not covered in this particular document is that SAS also does have a university edition and have cloud computing where you can use a virtual server managed by SAS, but I'm not going to talk about that option here today. So we're just going to look at the options that OSU has. And so if you have, say, your own laptop or your own desktop computer, you have administrative rights over the software that can be installed on that, then you can look at this first option where you download SAS to your computer. To do this, you need to be aware that the IT website for OSU has a software distribution center. And so that here we'll go through this document that you should have a copy of. It'll go off screen here in just a little bit so I can show you a little bit about what those web pages look like. That is the web page from which you will make this download. So in order to download SAS to your computer, you need to go to the IT website, that is it.okstate.edu. And I've given a more specific link to the Software Distribution Center in the accompanying handout. However, should IT change the appearance or change that link, we'll go through this video so you can kind of see how they presently have things arranged. So when you go to the IT website, then you want to scroll down and you look at IT services and information. You'll select that you're a student. I need to look at the employee option. And I have employee services listed here. You'll have student services, and so some of the things you see may be a little different for me than they are for you. But in this case, the thing that's the same is over here in support services where it says software distribution. That is the same for both of us. So if we click software distribution, it tells us how to get started in here and what we need to do. Software can have costs or fees attached to it, and so that will be evident when you get into the Software Distribution Center. Now when you click on Software Distribution Center, you'll be asked to confirm what your university role is, whether you're a Stillwater student, I'm Stillwater faculty, and then you'll move it, it'll populate for you the software that's available. The products that I'm initially looking at here are all listed as free products here. Scroll down. You'll see that there are multiple SAS products available. SAS Jump, that's a point and click package within SAS. We want to go all the way down. Mine says for faculty and staff, but you want this 32 or 64-bit copy of SAS 9.4. 9.4 is what we refer to as the current version, and so you can click on this to say purchase it and then proceed to checkout. And then also for the activation file, you will need to purchase it also. I just did this and it only allowed me to purchase one thing at a time, so I had to go through checkout twice to do that. So those are the two things that you will need in order to install SAS on your computer. Now when I made my purchase for the SAS 9.4 software for faculty and staff, I did get an email from the IT Software Distribution Center. It looks like this. It's a little brief, if you will. You will get a zip file that you'll load to your hard drive, extract the contents of the zip file onto your computer, and then you'll go to that extracted folder and you want to look up the setup file. .exe. If you don't have the extensions enabled, it's a setup and it's an activation file. And so that you run this to start what's called a SAS deployment wizard. And so you want to follow that installation or deployment wizard. Within that, you want to make sure that you look for the SAS Foundation is what you're going to install. It gives you an option, and there are three items listed in a window about what is it you wish to install. And in the present case, the middle one was SAS Foundation. Now, having said that, SAS may reorder things the next time, but SAS Foundation contains the tools we need for our class. So that's where you should be. And then you just follow all of the dialogue supplying information there for the products that you wish. Most of them, the defaults are selected. It will prompt you for which language do you want things, and so for myself I just selected English as the only language that I needed to use. At some point during the installation, you will be prompted for the activation file, and it may not say the word activation, but it's looking for a particular file. So the activation file, which you get in a separate purchase from the IT Software Distribution Center, you want to save it to your desktop or leave it in your downloads folder, but somewhere where you know where that's at. That way you can browse to that in that SAS deployment wizard dialog, and it needs that activation file because that contains the license information. The activation file is really just a text file, and it's got a lot of computer code in it. If you double click it to open it, you'll see when it's at the expiration date is, so you'll know if you have the current one. The expiration date for SAS is typically the last day of February each year, and so that every year you have to get an activation file again to renew your SAS license if you're still going to be involved here at OSU. And then after you leave at OSU and or you haven't renewed your license, then you need to you would just uninstall the SAS software because it would not function anymore on your computer. It does take a lot of space. One of the very first things it does in the deployment wizard is check your computer to make sure that there's ample space available for the SAS product to install. If you are not able to install SAS on your computer, but you want to have access to it on a virtual server, that also can be done. And in order to do that, we'll back up a step. So from the Software Distribution Center, so back out to my Employee Services page, it would be your Student Services page. You go back to that point and scroll down to the listed services, and instead of Software Distribution over here, I find Virtual Labs here. And so Virtual Labs, then this is where we go to install the VM Horizon client. It gives us this header for Virtual Labs. There are two options here, Web Client and Computer Client. Web Client is that you just want to access this server. You don't have as much flexibility with it, so you're going to want to be able to save files to a USB storage device while you're working in virtual SAS, and so you'll want to use the computer client approach. This again means that you have to have administrative rights to the machine, however, to install the VM Horizon client on your computer. Once you have it installed on your computer, then getting access to SAS on this is done just the same as before. There's no lengthy installation involved like there is with a SAS installation. It takes just a minute or two to get the VM Horizon client installed here, and there are instructions then in the handout for how to do this. Then once you have it, you click on the icon for the VM Horizon client to open your access to that. I already have mine open here. On the taskbar, which is off screen for this video, I have the VM Horizon client icon that indicates that it was open, and so this is what virtual SAS looks like when I have it less than full screen. There are a number of software products there that you have access to and can use, and so you go to the SAS folder and proceed as the handout indicates to you to get SAS to open. This, if after a period of inactivity in a virtual server, it will shut down, and so you want to make sure that you save your work and save it frequently. Don't expect it to be saved, is what I've told you in the handout. You may have a few minutes for which some things stay active if you log out and forget to save something, and but you close virtual SAS, but you didn't close SAS before you exited your access to that server. You may have some luck in getting your information back, but I wouldn't count on it. So do be sure to save things frequently. That's why installing the Horizon client is better than just accessing the virtual server. The virtual server you cannot save to your hard drive, and you cannot save to as many places as you can whenever you actually install the Horizon client. So you'd also want to check the file explorer here for the PCs, see what drives you have available to you. I believe you can access your OneDrive. For me, it shows up as my E drive. It may be a different drive for you. So I'd encourage you to look at that and get familiar with this before an assignment is due. So in the notes, I have a brief bit here about what the Horizon client icon will look like after it's installed on your desktop. And then once you're have it installed, you can either go to your start menu and find it. Okay. And then usually this desktop, that may be a one-time only thing. And then eventually once you get to log in, it'll take you straight to Virtual Lab and SAS. And you've probably noticed as I've been speaking, I tend to just call it Virtual SAS. And the initial product that OSU had was called Virtual SAS, and there didn't have as many software options on that virtual server as it does now. So it actually, Virtual Lab has many different software products on there, as you saw. So this is just a little bit about some of the things you'll see on the screen, and this is a little different listing of software products that appeared in Virtual Lab and SAS at one point in time. That's all I have for now. Good luck programming.